Hey there, everybody. I'm back again. Oh, good lord, there's just so much I want to cover. First of all, I'm sorry I haven't been able to do any of the reviews I've been usually doing. Uh, life got very complicated, and long story short, with my schedule the way it is and everything, I barely have time to record anymore, and I had to very seriously debate quitting YouTube, at least for a while. But I managed to find some time, so I figured why not? I'll do an update. So yeah, saw Resurrection F. Yeah, I'm way late with this. Um, Loved the crap out of it. Solid 9, etc. Dragon Ball Super, things are getting pretty good. Um, they've tweaked a few things here and there, but it's mostly the same so far. Um, Moving right along, Marvel is pretty much dead to me. Um, Brian Michael Bendis is basically gonna hook up Mary Jane Watson and Tony Stark in at least some capacity. Now they keep trying to act like, oh, you're overreacting. They're just working together. But based on the fact that Bendis said that Tony's gonna have a new girlfriend, and when asked who, he teased that he likes redheads, and of course Mary Jane's a redhead, and they very much appear to have her acting in the same capacity that Pepper Potts behaves in the movies, as opposed to the you know, comic where she was quite different and her relationship with Tony was different, and then they retconned it by killing her husband so that they could hook those two up because, we gotta emulate the movies. Um, Other than that, yeah, it's just, Marvel's a mess right now, and I have no real interest in, following them at this point. The movies are actually more true to the comics than the comics themselves now. And that, to me, is a very sad thing. At any rate, I mean, just the fact that the comics could, oh my god. Okay, you're gonna have to bear with me here. Just the fact that the comics could actually fall that far, something about that hurts. I mean, part of me too almost wonders if Bendis didn't do this simply because, I mean, it's kind of suspicious that, like, immediately after Renew Your Vows comes out, and it's being extremely well received, and people are showing that they love seeing Spider-Man, Peter Parker married to Mary Jane again, and with the kid no less, and it could work. And that's the funny thing, and at the end of the issue, the arc, they very much undercut their own narrative where they said that Peter couldn't possibly have a family and still be Spider-Man by showing that he could indeed have a family and still be Spider-Man. And it's insane. 2 days after that, last issue comes out, Bendis says, oh, hey, guess what? Mary Jane's hooking up with Tony Stark. It's like you tease them with that hope that maybe, just maybe, this might be good, right? You teased them with it. You made them think that there might be a shot because you're teasing that, hey, in this new continuity, we're not going to say where Mary Jane is or what she's doing, but she finds herself in a very interesting place, and that one lady on his arm on the cover of issue 1 kind of looks like MJ, so maybe we're undoing it. Who knows? It's like, screw you. But part of me wants to think that Bendis made this call. God, Bendis, you hack. Purely because, see, here's the thing. Technically speaking, in the MCU, Spider-Man exists in it now. And realistically, what love interest are they going to give him? I mean, Gwen Stacy is just been done, just killed. They're not going to want to bring her back again. Um, Betty Brant is definitely not a viable love interest. Neither is Liz Allen. Bringing in Felicia or anyone after her would be like extreme rushing, and would be kind of awkward because he's still only in high school. So you'd have an extremely sexualized underage girl, unless you take the route of making her older than him, in which case she's now a pedophile. I don't think they're gonna even consider that. Um, so I mean, realistically speaking, it's gonna have to be Mary Jane, and Mary Jane is extremely popular in that role, and fans have been asking for their relationship to come back. And of course, Marvel Studios is going to see this as the perfect opportunity, especially since the other media isn't doing it. The comics aren't doing it. We'll do it. Come watch our movies. And you know what? They realistically could not upset anyone with that because, even people who may not, like Mary Jane, well, they may not have had Mary Jane be their favorite love interest, well, they can accept it because it's in the comics. And people who loved it, well, they'll be happy. And, I mean, a lot of them don't even touch the comics anymore except to, glance at them every once in a while. And so, to me, that would be fine, right? You'd think. But see, Bendis and Quesada and a few others were on a creative team that was working on the MCU as well, and basically, giving them this and that and the other, and saying, oh no, you can't do this in this movie. Oh no, we can't do this because later on, it closes the door to doing this anytime soon, and we don't want to have to wait to do this, and they kind of been sticking their fingers in everything, and it's one reason why even some of the actors have been reluctant to renew their contracts. I mean, as soon as the creative team and Ike Perlmutter were gone, Chris Evans was talking happily about, being very willing to renew his contract as Captain America. So, yeah, I mean, that's telling. But I just find it funny how shortly after this, Bendis comes out and says, "Oh, yeah, your love interest for your movie there. We're gonna take her and make her probably Iron Man's love interest." And that's going to basically undercut the romance because now you're going to be sitting there saying that, oh, not only does their marriage dissolve, but hey, she's with Tony Stark now. And it also ties into them, for whatever reason, wanting to promote Tony as the new flagship character. Um, and they're putting him in a lot of the same situations that Peter found himself in. Tony's now facing bankruptcy. He doesn't know who his biological parents were, you know. And heck, I wouldn't be surprised at this point if J. Jonah Jameson don't start going after him. It's getting ridiculous. Meanwhile, I mean, he's getting Peter Parker's life, and then Peter Parker's villains and his neighborhood and his title even are being just handed to Miles Morales, and Peter is being isolated away from literally everyone else in the Marvel Comics universe over in Hong Kong, where he'll probably have very limited interaction with anyone not meant to be mainlanded. Basically, Peter's been demoted to not even really B team, but C team almost. He's going to have completely different villains. He's going to have. Oh, God, this is horrible. But I digress. I just screw Marvel. That's all there is to it. Marvel's universe, yeah. But the only Marvel related stuff I'm looking forward to at this point is Star Wars, and even then, I'm not sure I want to give them money for that. It's that bad. Moving right along, and segueing into Star Wars, So I've been reading some of the new material for the new canon, and I want to give a little bit of backstory here. Well, they announced that the expanded universe was getting basically swept under the rug. It wasn't going to be canon anymore. And yes, I know people want to debate whether or not it was originally even canon to begin with, but when they said it's not even going to be taken into consideration going forward, I was mad. I was very mad. I was very emotional about it. These were stories that I had grown up with and I had known for years, decades. And they did, and I spent money on some of this stuff, and they basically just told me, you know, I'm sorry, you're not going to get any more of these. I mean, we'll still print them. They'll just have a Legends banner on them, and that's that. Um, but it's whatever. Looking back, when I finally calmed down, I could kind of see some of the points they were making, especially in regards to the universe now being incredibly crowded, and they'd be very limited in what they could or could not do. Um, and certain novels came out, and they were, they were then retconned by the prequels, and then they had to put out books, kind of trying to gimmick the original line into to the post prequel continuity, and um, yeah, it just got awkward. And as Timothy Zahn put it, though, it's George's driveway. We're just playing in it. So yeah, I don't know what to say there because technically, with the creation of the prequels, Thrawn can't be canon. At least some of it can't. So it's stuff like that. But I even joined up with some of those Facebook groups to protest it. That's how mad I was. But see, after a little bit, when you calm down, you kind of realize, okay, it's been long enough. They're pretty clearly not bringing the Legends books back. At least not for now. This movie's already undergoing production. It's pretty much guaranteed to break 1 billion. What are you gonna do, right? Um, Turns out they don't feel that way at all. Not even a tiny bit. No siree. And in fact, I mean, I even suggested that maybe some of the stuff could be good, and oh my god, I got roasted for that. I left after that. But between that and the fact that they were openly planning to conduct raids on the Facebook pages of the publishers of the new EU, of the Rebels TV show. I mean, they even go on the official Star Wars, account and go on the Force Awakened updates and leave angry comments there, oftentimes in groups and concentrated efforts. The new book, Aftermath, I think, for me, is really the straw that's breaking the camel's back, though, because, see, I picked up that book, and I read that book, and then I read some of the reviews for that book, and they're ridiculous. Some of them are freaking ridiculous. Apparently, I mean, look, anyone who knows me knows I'm almost as anti-SJW as they come. But some of the stuff that I see in there that they're trying to call SJW propaganda is ridiculous. It is reaching. It is you reading a lot more into it than I think even the author himself intended. But way to let him know that it bugs you so much and that you're going to one-star it anyway, because now he'll do it more just to piss you off, genius. It's like these guys don't think. They just act on emotion, not logic. They nitpick the living crap out of it. The writing style, I'm gonna be the first to admit I can understand if it's a little hard for some people to get into it because it is in third person present tense. But that style of prose is designed to put you into the mind of a character because it basically it tells everything from their point of view, and as if you're an observer inside their head and through their eyes. Like, you're not them. You're not meant to see things as them. You're meant to see what they see and hear what they hear and think what they think and feel what they feel as it happens, right? Or at least know how they describe what they see and hear. It kind of puts you in a direct observational perspective, and I think that's actually kind of interesting, and it's unorthodox and definitely unique. And I mean, it took me about a page or so to finally get the flow of things, but I caught on pretty quick, and ever since then I've been enjoying it. It's actually been pretty good. But the nitpicks range from that writing style to apparently the term quick duck. For those of you who apparently can't put two and two together, quick duck is quite literally quickly ducking. Like when the door opens and you real quick drop down behind the console to hide from stormtroopers coming in. That's a quick duck. And the phrase appeared in the Legends books too. So this idea that he spews word vomit and that being one of your cases, well, you just criticize the books you love so much too. But I mean, I have to admit I was very skeptical, and I still kind of am upset that certain characters aren't back and may not be coming back. Like Mara Jade, I almost need to see come back. She was an amazing character, but maybe not. That's something I'm gonna have to live with. However, I am noticing that one reason they may have done that too is because, unfortunately, as of George's new canon with episodes 1 through 3, Jedi, as you know, are forbidden to marry, and Luke is now a full-fledged Jedi. So unless he does indeed intentionally restrict or revoke that, Jedi can't marry, odds are he's probably going to be living out his lonely life without Mara Jade, and that hurts a lot. But what are you gonna do? But another reason I think that might be the case is because, I mean, when you listen to like the voiceovers and everything in the trailers for episode 7, they talk about how there's been an awakening and you can feel it, and Luke, saying, these powers you have, I have them, my sister has them, my father had them, now you have them too. And it's like, why does it seem like, the Jedi kind of stayed almost dead? Because there were no other Force sensitives, and then suddenly they are being born, and now he can rebuild his order. But in the meantime, that does bug me. But it's something I'm gonna have to live with. And honestly, that's really something you can blame George Lucas himself for, not Disney. But I digress. Again, I took a look at some of what they're doing though, and I'm currently watching this panel they had, this canon story panel at Star Wars Celebration, and just the way they're fielding questions and everything, and talk about what they're doing, and all the different areas that they're working in. There's Star Wars fiction, there's Star Wars non-fiction, and that to me is cool. I mean, they're actually making a Star Wars Battlefront novel, and apparently it is indeed canon. So Battlefront is canon. Go figure. And they are also making, they announced that they were going to be taking a look at actually revisiting episodes 4, 5, and 6 in a novel format. And not simply, rewriting the books that had been written about them, the novelizations, but they actually want to take the stories of 4, 5, and 6 and tell Luke's story, Leia's story, Han's story, Chewie's story, all of that, through the eyes of a third party at all times. Different perspectives throughout the books to kind of, show what it was like when all this went down from the outside looking in. And I loved that idea. I mean, I wanted that for so long, like with superheroes. I always said that, like it would be so interesting to see like a superhero movie or a superhero game or something where it's like, the heroes are not the main characters, the civilians are. And you have to sit through all that, and that's why like they announced that a Telltale game was being made based on Marvel, and part of me keeps hoping that they would do it like that, because that would really lend to their play style too. Having to get photographs or whatever, or get out of the building that's collapsing, or just get out of the way, try to escape the clutches of a villain that's holding you hostage, etc. That to me would be really cool, you know? Uh, and the fact that they're doing this with Star Wars is awesome, because that's another very heavily, narrative driven thing that I would love to see get worked on. And I'm just seeing how enthusiastic these guys are, and a lot of them, even the people who are writing these books were fans of the legend stories and the old expanded universe, and they are really putting a lot of thought and care into this and trying to make it good. Now I can understand some skepticism about it and how that could leave them open to over micromanaging and thus having things suffer for it. But honestly, so far I don't think they have. So we'll have to see where that goes. So, oh, pardon me, I'm recording this after 1 a.m. We'll have to see where that goes in the future. All right? But just seeing some of these people be so rude to these people and attack them. And I guess even at Dragon Con, they actually had panelists, Star Wars panelists, that they would back into a corner and actually, basically would not leave until they would take a flyer, a Save Legends flyer. Some of them they were even trying to basically coerce into handing out flyers for them. And it's like, I mean, these people were like visibly uncomfortable and backing away. And yet they would still push, and it's incredible. It's getting legitimately cult like. And when you go to the Facebook page of the Star Wars books, they are so constantly insulting that book, insulting the author, insulting anyone who likes it. It's ridiculous. And I don't just mean like criticizing even the book, they insult it. Gay characters are an SJW agenda now, and trying to shove it in your face, even though when you meet one of said gay characters, you don't even know he's gay at first, because it's not his defining trait, which is actually the sign of a well written character. Um, and I will admit that, some of how the author has handled it hasn't exactly been super professional, but at the same time, nothing that he said has been super offensive in the way they blow it out of proportion either. Um, my But I mean, I don't hold a whole lot of doubt the guy might hold some SJW perspectives. I mean, really, I don't necessarily. But I'm not seeing them in this book thus far. So unless they pop up later, then I don't know. But I mean, he's even willing to accept criticism of his book based on book-y things, like actual complaints that have to do with, narrative, story, goofs, etc. Um, but I mean, these guys go after him for some of the most asinine things, like he didn't know what language the Mon Calamari spoke, and didn't know what their chin tendrils were called, and didn't know what a Twi'lek's head tentacles were properly called. And it's like, that's not the author. That is literally the point of view of an ignorant Imperial enforcer who, I mean, the Imperials were so prejudiced that a cadet got his finger broken as punishment for trying to learn Ithorian. So, I mean, it's like maybe the book's not written poorly, you just don't have good reading comprehension. Maybe. I don't know. But I just, oh, so many things that I love have so much happening going on in them, and a lot of it not necessarily pleasant. And then on top of that, you can understand why I've been feeling a bit overwhelmed lately, I'm sure. But anyway, that is it for now, and I will definitely catch you guys later. Just wanted to give you a bit of an update on what's been going on with me. So, see ya.